spent over an hour trying to get the freaking live stream to work. So, regretfully, the Mother's Day special is not going to come out on Mother's Day.
Neither did it last time.
They don't know that.
None of them have ever come out on the actual days
They don't know that.
It,
They don't need to know. They don't need to know that our 1 year anniversary, or like that our first May the 4th extravaganza was actually like a week later. But we recorded it on the day, and that's the important part.
Yeah,
that's what makes it the real.
That's what we're still the Mother's Day special. We're recording on the day.
It is Mother's Day,
it's just,
but this just won't come out probably, I guess, until Tuesday.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
It'll come out on Tuesday. Although originally another episode, but that's beside the point. People don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear about that crap. They want to hear about what I want to talk about.
Okay. Which was, oh yeah, you had something you want to talk about earlier.
Gosh dang, dude, it's so weird recording now after all that.
What?
After all, it's just weird because it's like, first off, we had like an hour-long conversation. I was like, this is so good, we have to record. And then we went through at least 2 hours of drama trying to get it working. And then now we're here sitting down and I'm like, now I don't even know if I want. I think I want to talk about other stuff.
I don't think
like,
I want to
James,
call
what's going on in your life, man?
I don't think I want to call it drama. We had technical difficulties.
I know it's not drama. It's just the easiest word to explain.
Technical difficulties? That's the easiest way to explain that.
Yeah, but my word was quicker. I said drama.
Yeah, but drama makes it sound like we were like arguing and there was a whole bunch of nonsense happening. Where technical difficulty.
I pulled a sword on you.
I wasn't paying attention. I was dealing with tech problems.
Yeah, you had headphones on, and I was saying, why is it working? And you were like, hey, hold on, I think we just picked up some audio. And I was like, well, I'll go check it. And I sheathed my sword.
Oh, so, okay.
And I was like, oh, there's audio? Okay, let's go see. And it didn't. It wasn't.
No, like, it was just literally picking up what was on the computer. That was
weird. Anyways, people don't want to hear about that either.
I mean, I enjoy listening to stuff like that.
You know what they want to hear about?
Our boring lives? Yeah. So, today was a fantastic day. So, I woke up.
Oh, crap, yeah, we do have to retread all this again, don't we?
I woke up. Oh, I'm not even talking about this. I woke up with a...
We've got to retread everything we talked about hours ago.
With a...
because it didn't freaking record. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Partial, like,
sorry, I'm not going
hangover.
to talk about it anymore.
It was weird. I've never really had a hangover.
A partial hangover?
Yeah.
What's a partial?
Well, since I've never had a hangover, I guess most people probably would consider it a hangover, but it was like a little bit of a like
What was it like?
It was a light roar in my head, and I was like, oh.
A roar
in
your head. So like an audio, like a...
like a headache, you know, like a minor headache. But like the reason I say it was a partial is because I get migraines when I actually get like, and like it pulsates in my eyes. So like I just never noticed headaches because they're not really...
Is that what a migraine is? I think I might have had migraines then and just considered them headaches. Like
Apparently,
where it's like a headache, but you feel it in your whole skull and your eyes?
Yeah, like apparently headaches aren't as intense as migraines. At least my understanding of them. I honestly have no clue because I don't know how to compare the two. Like, it'd be nice to be able to like feel both of them and be like, this is a headache, this is a migraine. I don't actually.
That's why the whole thing, whenever doctors ask you, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the pain you're feeling?
Yeah, you're like.
It's like, dude, you know, everybody that comes in here is gonna say different.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Like your grandmother, your great grandmother, right? Your great grandmother was like.
No, my grandmother.
It was your grandmother?
Yeah.
You know what story I'm about to tell?
Nope, but I don't have a great-grandmother, so it was my grandmother.
All right, where your dad was telling me this, he was like, I come from a family where no one complains about any of the pain they feel.
Oh, yeah, it was my grandmother.
Yeah, and then your grandmother was just like, I have a headache, and then died from a brain aneurysm. It's like, never complains about anything. It's like, oh, I got a little bit of a headache. Doesn't go to the doctor, dies, brain aneurysm. And it's like, that had to have been an intense pain, but the tolerance level of your family is just so high that it's like, oh yeah, I kind of got a headache today. Oh, it sucks.
And I wish I could say I have a high pain tolerance. I do in comparison to most, but like in comparison to my dad's side of the family, and even sometimes my mom and them, it's like I don't think I do. I think I have like Michael and I may have the lowest pain tolerance in our family, but like, because like someone will be like, oh yeah, basically
well, that's because
like,
Michael's a baby. Baby doesn't come on this show anymore. Only did one episode a year ago.
But either way, though, like it was just weird to like try to compare them because like I've had members that like broken their hands or whatever, and they're like, yeah, it kind of hurt. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah. I mean, I've only broken one bone, and I was like, ow, this really hurts. Granted, I didn't go to the doctor for it, but like. I was like, yeah, this kind of does hurt. I understand where they're coming from.
I know it's Mother's Day, but like, I just want to talk about stereotypical dad things for a moment. Just
like
for a moment.
Dad
here.
noises.
Well, no, I just mean like dads, where it's like recently my dad broke his foot, right? He went to the hospital. They put him on a cast. I think they gave him painkillers and crutches. He didn't use the crutches and immediately went back to work, where he climbs ladders and installed. I think he worked for Dish at the time, so he was like. A week after was like, all right, time to get back to work. And he's climbing up ladders, working on roofs with a cast on. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, well, it doesn't hurt that bad.
Like, maybe, is it the pain, or is it like, I just have to do this anyway, so screw it, I'm going to do this?
Well, no, he was acting like it really didn't hurt. He had to wear it for a month or two, but he worked every freaking day. Like, he was
So
just like, nah.
He took like maybe a week off, is that?
At most. And then I didn't even ever see him use crutches. He's like, yeah, they gave me crutches. And he's always just walking on. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nah.
Who needs crutches?
It's better to walk it off.
It really is, honestly.
It kind of is.
Like,
Walk it off and rub some dirt on it is actually good advice. The older I'm getting, the more I'm like, oh crap, that is pretty good advice.
like, I got in a car wreck, And like,
Yeah.
it hurt my freaking ankles, both of them. And I felt like, what is that? Is it Radio where he runs really weird? Cuba Gooding Jr.
I think it's Radio, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I felt like walking. I was like, ah.
Dude, Radio, that's so my cousin, you know him, Seth. So he got in trouble for, I think he got grounded even by his parents because he kept calling his sister retard, right? And they're like, that's insulting or whatever. And then I think he moved to Riri, and they're like, no, we know what you're saying here. And then he was like, okay, and he started calling her Radio. And they're like, we can't really punish you for that, but at the same time, we know what you're doing, but like, how much do we keep saying these are words you can't say, right? Like, what is the line that is eventually like, please just stop being mean to you're gonna be mean to your sister, okay, fine, whatever. Because he just like, instead of calling her retard, he's like, okay, Radio.
So like, he progressively just found a better way to say it, so therefore he could get in less trouble each time.
Yeah, and eventually they just let it go. They were just like, fine, okay, you're gonna call her retarded no matter what we tell you. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna find a way to call her retarded. And you're just gonna have to deal with this because my sister's retarded.
At what point would he eventually just got a window licker?
Oh no, I think he used that.
Okay.
No. My mistake. I'm sorry. I've heard people be called window licker so much.
Right.
That was before window licker became a thing. Because I thought window licker was literal. Because that's what we called not Sharon. What was her name at Taco Bell? She was a cashier. She became a manager. She's kind of cute. Colleen, yeah. Colleen was window licker because she literally licked the window. And then someone saw her do that. I think it was James, actually, the other James. The good James. Yeah.
No.
The good James.
I would prefer Black James, White James over Good James, Bad James, alright? Because
But that's racist.
But our names got changed consistently. Like when people use Good James, Bad James, it was depending on the day of how either him or I felt. So it wasn't an actual like static name. Because some days I would be Good James, some days I would be Bad James. Like it really just seemed to depend on like who's a bigger dick today.
Dude, talk about sour cream fights.
Dude.
Then James is such a freaking dick. Oh my god, no, you are ultimately in the long-term scale of you're the good James.
Yeah.
Because the bad James is freaking like, oh, you want to say some crap? Here's some sour cream. And it's like, you turn on him and you're like, okay, look, you just fired the first shot. So it's essentially like, you initiated a war, you fired the first bullet, and it's like, I'm going to fire a bullet back at you. And he's like, okay, here's a nuke.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't even have nukes. And it's like, yeah, I know. Here's another nuke.
I still enjoy the day that we freaking like sour creamed Rachel. Him and I got into that huge fight, and then we got into a sauce war that I accidentally dumped creamy jalapeno on Ketchum's eye. Like so.
I know Ketchum. Yeah.
Yeah. So like.
Oh God.
So we were fighting with the sauces because he for some reason was just like, hey James, and shot freaking avocado ranch at me, and I was like, okay. So then I grabbed one of the ranches and started shooting it back. We're over the grill too. Just
Of course you are. You're both steaming. Yeah, of course you are.
So then he was like, all right, and just starts going at it. back and forth. And then Ashley comes around the corner because he's been like poking his head around doing this.
Yeah.
And I just like, oh yeah, right in her face. I was like, oh man. I felt so bad. I was like, she started screaming and yelling at me. I'm like, not on purpose, I swear to God.
We had this thing going, and then you were just a civilian caught in the crossfire. I'm sorry. And it's like, nope, revenge.
Dude, like, no, she was pissed.
Our families will take revenge on you
I let
for
her,
generations.
I let her just empty basically a bottle on me. I was like, alright, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's all good. That's all good and fun.
Is it?
What I wanted to actually talk about today was video games. We are a gaming channel after all. I don't know if you noticed.
I mean, it
We
says
are.
we are.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Well, how
noticed.
did you change that? Yeah.
I don't know how to change it.
Oh my God, do I have to do that?
I don't know how any of this works. I know I set it up, and when I set it up, it asked me the initial questions. I don't know how to go back and edit them.
It's in your managing.
I don't. Where in the? I've tried to change it before, and it wouldn't let me. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Maybe you have to do it on a computer, or maybe now that I downloaded that app, maybe that app will help.
Probably. Oh, man, there's so much stuff I gotta do. Alright.
There's a lot of work we have to do with the channel to get it ready to move to the next level.
Yeah.
But technically, we have another year to do it.
We do, but I wanna start bouncing.
The sooner the better.
Yeah.
The sooner the better. Right. But next year is the next jump. Right? You know what I mean? Like, because we've done 1 year, we made a big jump of doing live, and that was an atrocity. But then it turned out well, and we actually got decent views off of doing
I would
it.
say the first one wasn't that greatest, but that was just because
it was an atrocity.
there was so much going on, and honestly, I wish we were just stuck with my setup.
Look, no, it was my mistake. I'm taking the blame for it. It was my mistake.
It happens. We both were like, let's see what happens. So
I want to say it was a little bit of a miscommunication, and then I also want to blame work scheduling, because you definitely.
I was trying to get there way before.
You definitely no, but like the thing is, we talked even the day earlier, and you were like, "Oh, dude, no, it's gonna be easy, 4:30 at the latest, kind of thing." Like exactly,
and that's where it seemed like it was going. I was like, "Dude, we're about to be done," and then
and then it just kept dragging.
it
Exactly,
dragged on,
and that's fine because like even with my job, whenever like today, I had to call my landlord, or they were calling me in the morning around 10.
Yeah.
And they called me, and I was like, well, I'll call them back as soon as I get off work. And they called me, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, hey, I can't really talk. I'm at work. And they're like, what time are you going to get off? And I was like, whenever I'm done. And they were like, what time is that? And I'm like, maybe 2:30, maybe 3. And then I didn't get off until about 4. And around 3:30, they started blowing up my phone. And I'm like, I'm not done. I'm still working. Like, because we both, you don't normally, but we both have worked the jobs where it's like, no, I don't have a schedule.
Yeah,
I have an event. Like, I've got to do this, and if I do this, I'm done.
Yeah.
Something crazy can happen in the middle of the day that extends the whole day.
Which can make it from like a short day that you're like, man, this is gonna be cake, to the next moment you're like, dude, I am still at work and it's 12 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I should have been done 6 hours ago. Which I don't mind actual jobs like that, because of the fact is it's really based on my work ethic at that point.
It's a toss-up because, like, I do kind of miss hourly, where it's just like, hey, you're going to work from this time to this time, and it's like, that's nice because whenever that time rolls around, you can be like, F all of you, I don't care what's happening, I'm out of here. But moving to a job where it's like, no, this is your task, I make way more money doing a job like that, right? Like,
that's what I prefer.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm making more money, even though, I could take longer.
But if it doesn't, if I do this as fast as I think it should take, you can technically calculate your hourly rate up to be much higher.
Yeah, because then you're like,
right?
okay, I made this much today. Normally, on a normal job, I would only make, let's say, $100.
Yeah, dude, $100 day is crazy good.
If that. I mean,
right?
But the thing is, I've never really, besides Taco Bell, all my jobs were never...
Bro, you worked at McDonald's. Don't even lie. I know that was just crap.
But I worked all day there, so I made $100 days.
Yeah, but is it?
I was morning.
At what point is the amount of hours you've worked not worth the fact that you made $100? Right? You know what I mean?
Amount of hours that you work at any fast food.
Yes, and that's why I feel bad for our buddy that is a GM of a fast food restaurant. Because I'm like, dude, I don't think you're making enough money.
Yeah.
And I think he feels the same way. But he's like, but it's the best paying job I've had. I'm like, yeah, no, I mean, like.
Yeah.
For real, like keep doing it. Like I don't think I'd walk away from that.
No,
honestly.
the money that he's making now, yeah, no, keep it. Because like, if you look at other restaurants in comparison to the restaurant he's working at as a GM, they don't pay nearly as much.
But
as
also, a solid philosophy to always have is that you're never being paid as much as your time is worth. Because if you ever feel like your time actually has that dollar value is matched, if you ever feel like that, then you have some issues with your self-value, your self-worth. Your self-worth should always be way greater.
Okay, wait, let's stop for a second.
Okay, no. Okay.
So let's say people like, let's just go with millionaires, right? Their hourly rate, if you calculated it, is sometimes anywhere between like a couple $1,000s an hour.
You
to
shouldn't be satisfied with
$100,000.
that. No, but you still.
But they're making millions a year.
Right.
So like,
absolutely.
how's that not satisfaction at that point where you're like, man,
no, it's great,
I'm making
but you shouldn't.
boo-goodles.
You shouldn't ever be willing to put an amount on your. You should never feel like the value of the amount you're getting paid an hour is worth an hour of your time, because time is finite.
Yeah, but that's my reasoning.
It is limited.
The reason I ask this is because some of them don't actually do jobs. Like, they show up to say, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 everything's running good. Cool, I'm going to go, hang out with my family while getting paid hourly to do this. You see what I'm saying?
That is much more... No, that is a little different, though. That's the difference being the amount of time you have to put into a thing to get paid for the task. You should always feel like you deserve more.
Okay.
Always. If you're getting paid to do literally nothing, or not even nothing, I'm sorry, if you're getting paid to do the things that you love doing,
yeah,
and to do the things that are extracurricular from us lower class people, right?
Yeah.
Like painting, playing guitar, just doing this, even just sitting in front of a
just
camera.
Having fun with people.
You should then really feel a sense of honor. Like people that make money doing what we're doing. In this instant, like not what we actually do, since this isn't our job.
Yeah.
But like
doing
this, where it's literally just like, oh, we sit in front of cameras and we talk, and you're making enough money to live off of. You should feel honored, and then you should still feel like your time isn't valued enough. But that's why I was going to throw a but, and you said you wanted to talk. Is you should also have enough rationality and be down to earth enough to set a bar of like, okay, in reality, this is still a great thing that I've got going here.
I mean,
when you get to that point, and that can be different for everybody.
There's an 8-year-old this year that made $26 million.
Yeah,
that's
and
insane.
The thing is, should she still feel satisfied? From my perspective, yes, but from her perspective, maybe she should stay hungry. Maybe she'd be like, no, I should make more. I need to learn how to make more.
I think she should stay hungry. Just
yeah,
keep going at it. Like, that's impressive.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Age,
though?
yeah.
Where it's like, how do I boil this down even more? Where you should always feel like you're worth a unlimited amount, because there's no value on a human life. I mean, unless you go to Libya, but there's no value on a human life, right?
Like Libya, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's only sitting anywhere in the world.
Basically,
but that's a darker conversation that we should not get into. So,
well, I mean, slavery is alive and active about everywhere, but Europe and America. Basically everyone. Oh, and then it is still in America and in Europe. You're right, because there's the underground sex slaves and all that.
Like, 1 second, bro.
Yeah, but let's not talk about the NFL right now.
Anyway, we're moving on from there. So, like, now I get what you're saying. Like, you should always be hungry. What am I dropping so much stuff?
How do you keep having stuff in your hands to drop?
It was in my pockets. I put them in my pockets. Just they're not successfully staying there.
Wow.
Anyways, now, like, making a ton of money and valuing your time are two different things in my book. Because I think you should be able to value your time whether you make a ton of money or not.
Well, absolutely.
You should be able, honestly, like, that's where any job, which is why jobs like that I'm doing now have spoiled me. Like, I've been doing it for almost 10 years, essentially, if not a little bit longer.
Yeah,
and
I've only been doing my job for 3, going on 4. About to be 4 in a month or 2.
And, like, it always bothers me because, like, whenever I do have an actual job, I hate managers. I hate authority figures over me when I'm doing my job.
Oh, yeah, I don't even want to get started on that.
And it's mainly just because I've been trained since basically 15 to, if I do my task well, you should just leave me alone.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, like, that's been my mindset since basically 15. Leave me alone if I do my job.
The problem is the thing that I'm doing right now, because I don't want to go into detail on either of our actual jobs.
Yeah, no.
I don't think there's no point to it.
It's point.
It's a point we're not going to point at.
Okay, yeah.
The problem, is that I'm now working in a thing where even though I know that I'm doing a good job, I know that I should be left alone. If I'm not addressed for an issue, then other people can claim that they're being singled out, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody messes up in any way, everybody gets punished.
Which I hate that. That's
That's
terrible
so stupid.
That's a
I
terrible
know,
system.
it's stupid. I
Because,
hate
like-
it. I think it's pointless because and then several of us will talk and be like, yeah, we know exactly who's doing this.
Yeah, and then you
And
want to
it's
hate
none
on
of
them.
us.
And the worst part is, like, it makes it almost like a
But
bully
then-
system at
Yeah,
some point.
but if
because you're like,
we do
screw that
anything
guy.
to the person that we know is doing the problems that we're all getting punished for, then we can also get punished
Again, yeah.
for taking
Your
I don't know.
aggression.
Yeah, aggression. That's a good way to put it. Taking our aggression out on the person we know is doing the problem that we're all being punished for.
Yeah, but then at
Right?
that point, like,
Because it's not like
but it makes you want to bully them out.
it's not like boot camp. But that's the thing. It's not like in boot camp where everyone has to do extra push-ups or run extra laps and like because that guy,
Yeah.
and they're like that guy, and then at night you take soap and you beat him.
I mean, no, it could be like, let's even use Taco Bell. We talked about it earlier. Remember when we all worked at Taco Bell together, right?
Yeah.
And then we had that one kid, I don't remember his name, it's pointless, we're not going to say his name. And, but he messed up and kept messing us up because, like, on a line system, if one person in the line messes you up, it messes the
The
whole
whole line's
system.
messed up. Yep.
And so, like, we all kept getting mad at him.
Doesn't matter if it's the first guy, the middle guy, or the last
Yep.
guy. If anybody messes up, the order's messed up. Everyone messed up.
Yep, and then you have to redo stuff. And like,
Yep.
so we started, I remember because we all kind of did the bully system essentially, which, because our job didn't have a union, nothing to protect the kid.
Right.
From us literally just being relentless dicks to him.
Yeah, and we
Like-
also had a GM that was on our side.
Yeah, because he
In
also
this
saw the kid. Because
yeah.
at first he was defending him, and then he was like, no.
No,
this
yeah,
kid's
he
awful.
doesn't know what he's doing.
And so,
yeah.
like, then we put him on dishes. And then he would come back online every now and then, and we started just berating him every time. To the point he quit.
Mhm.
And like, so it's really, I don't want to make.
Which probably sounds mean, but the thing is, there is leniency.
Yeah, I don't
When
want to. That's what I'm
someone's
saying.
new,
I don't want to make light
there's
of it.
always leniency. There's always slack given. But after enough time, if you're not picking it up, and that's the thing is, some people learn quicker than others. But if you're not picking it up at least at the average, quote unquote, average pace, then get out.
Which at that job,
Freaking
honestly,
get out.
at that job it's like 3 months. You have a really long leniency.
Yeah, I would say 3 months too, because you have to memorize every item. You have to learn where
Sometimes
everything
there's
is.
new items
you
come
got-
in,
and new
and,
items
like,
come in.
So we,
But
like,
there's a lot of stuff where it's
every
like
employee
we
that
gave
does
a
it-
really
I
long
would say every
leniency
employee
period.
seems to give about 3 months for you to learn how to do your job. We
Yeah.
expect you to start picking up speed by that point.
Dude, with the job
But,
I'm
like-
doing now, our leniency curve, at least my personal leniency curve, actually no, even the management's leniency curve is 1 month, and my leniency curve I would say is at about 2 weeks.
Jesus. See, the
It's
job.
about 2 weeks because my leniency has gone down. My tolerance has gone down drastically because I am just so pissed off.
Oh, that's
It's a whole year. This has been a whole year of me just being angry at everybody.
Holy
Okay.
crap. I will say the leniency on our job is like, as long as 2 people know how to do it, if you're that third person coming in, it could take you a full year before we get mad at you for not doing your job properly.
Oh God.
Like, we may be like,
Hey,
man,
that's pretty good though.
we may be like, man, you're annoying me because you're kind of slowing me down, but you're having to learn the ropes. You're having to learn how to do fractions and everything else.
Yeah,
and, like,
which, I mean,
like,
That's
there's math in it that you don't think about when
yeah,
you're
that's
doing the job.
that's very
And
reasonable.
it's like, so like,
That's very reasonable because it also depends on how challenging the job is.
Exactly.
Right. And a year, a year does make sense. But I think there's
Granted,
still certain people that could come in, and then after 3 or 4 days, you're like, no, wait, no,
Yeah,
you're
no.
not cutting this.
no, you
You're
can you
get
definitely,
out of here.
It's just it's the ones that get that leniency, that longer leniency, is the ones that you're like, you see them clearly trying. You see them
Yes.
clearly trying to understand
Yes.
everything. And if they ask questions, you'll last way longer in my job if you ask questions. If you don't ask questions and you're just kind of like, then like you're not gonna last long.
Dude, no joke. Today was the first day I worked with him, but he's been there now 2 days. He's been there for 2 days, and I was getting talked to by some of the other employees, and they were telling me that on his very first day, he was telling people what to do. I'm like, what? Who do you think you are? Where I'm talking about the guy who's been there longer than me went to talk to him,
Yeah.
to help him out or whatever, and he was like, oh, here's what's going on. And it's like, okay, an explanation of what's going on is always acceptable. But then he was like, and now here's what you need to do. And the dude was like,
like he's doing the same job as
all right,
us?
yeah,
As you guys?
yeah, okay, yeah, dude, that's what I need to do. Cool, got it. All right, thank you. Bye. Like, and
this is my problem, and this is how you fix it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
exactly. That's exactly. Yeah, this is the problem that I'm having. Now here's how you fix it. And it's like, well, then I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like, if you knew the solution, I wouldn't be here right now.
I wouldn't be here trying to help you. Right? Why don't you do that solution and fix your own problem?
Yeah, exactly. And he was telling me that today, and he was like, because he's a non-confrontational kind of person, and he's also very lenient. Where the first time he interacts with people, you know, he's way more forgiving.
Yeah.
And so he was just telling me about that because he's like, well, I'm not gonna just try and start a fight with the guy, but I was just like, in my head, I was like, do you realize I've been here like for 5 years and you're on day 1 trying to tell me what to do?
He's way more forgiving than I am. Because like I've had people walk up to me on my first day, or not my first day, their first day, and being like, hey, this is what I think we should do. I'm like, yeah, no.
It's your first day. How about give it a week or two and then you can try and make suggestions.
I'm not even that nice. I'm actually quite mean at work. Like, dude, I am a dick at work. So, like, I'm usually just like, don't go screw yourself. I'm not listening to whatever you say. I've been doing this for a while. And don't get me wrong, I can take a reasonable advice if you're like, hey, this is what I was thinking. Like, and it's all about the approach, though.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about the approach. If you approach me like a freaking
know-it-all,
know-it-all, then I'm going to not listen to you at all.
No, I
like,
definitely
even if your
that.
advice is freaking brilliant, I'm not going to listen to you. I may store that in the back of my mind until you leave and then use it later.
Yeah.
But while you're there,
I
I'm
definitely
going
get that.
to
The approach is
intentionally
important.
be vindictive. And, like,
the approach is important.
wrong.
You're absolutely right. The approach is important. Because if it's... And, like, that is so subjective. I couldn't even say how exactly to approach right, but, like...
You have to gauge the person.
Do it. Yeah.
Like,
it
really
really
comes down to is gauging who you're actually interacting with.
It almost comes down to, which is going to be weird, but, like, to, like, sensing their aura.
Yeah,
it almost comes down to, like, what's the aura you're projecting right now as you tell me this?
And if you're not good at that, then honestly, the best thing to do, which is something that our generation has lost, is small talk.
Yeah.
Have small talk with the person. Really actually listen to their responses, listen to how they're saying things, even watch their body language.
That's what's important about interviews.
Yeah, like...
That's what job interviews are all about.
I suck at
Oh, my job doesn't do interviews.
What are those things called?
They just hire you.
You know,
and if you're not cut for it, they
you know when they do
you.
the assessment, they make you do your own assessment test crap.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I suck at those. Okay?
Like, what's your biggest flaw?
Dude, I honestly suck.
What would your friends tell you? What would your friends tell me about you?
Because I'm so
I'm
honest.
like,
on those
God,
things.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but I'm so
I don't know my
honest
friends
on
that
those
well.
things. And like the boss we were talking about, about, like, I was like,
yeah, boss man.
Yeah, I was trying to get a job where he was working at the time, and he was like,
yeah,
he's like, what did you do on your assessment test? I'm like, I just told
the
truth.
water plant.
Yeah, I told the truth, and he was like, why? Like, because it's asking me to assess myself, so I'm gonna assess myself. He's like, lie. They never actually want the truth.
Yep.
I'm like, then why give me the test?
Same with girlfriends.
Like, why give a test if you don't actually actually want to know who I am or whatever?
No.
See, that's my problem with talking to people in this generation too. It's literally
the same
I'm
with
like,
women, man.
I'll ask questions.
They'll ask questions. They want you to lie to them.
I'll ask questions to chicks that just in general
Does this dress make me look fat? Of course not.
The answer is yes.
Of course not.
Like if a chick's like,
it's not always yes. Come on now.
No, it's not. But if the chick is like, does this dress make me look fat? And I look at her and I think the dress makes her look fat. The answer is going to be yes coming out of my mouth.
Yep, and that's why I'm single.
It's like, yeah.
Because I'm the same way, but they want you to lie.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to build your self-esteem, but I don't want to give you a false ego. Okay? Don't walk around thinking you're hot shit when you're not hot shit. I don't want, and also I don't want you walking out being embarrassed when later on someone gives you a weird ass freaking look.
Yeah.
Like I'm being.
And you're like,
honest.
why is that blah blah blah? It's like, well, okay, honey, I actually lied to you earlier. You look awful right now.
Like, those shoes don't match that dress. Yeah. Okay, like that's terrible. Let's not.
And it's like, wait. But we've been out in town for overnight. You're telling me 100 people have already seen me like this. Like, yeah, I didn't want to break it to you earlier. But now that you've noticed the 50 people giving you dirty looks, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. And we're not going home, by the way, because we still have another 3 hours. We got a play to catch.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, why are you being an asshole? Just tell her at the beginning of the day.
Exactly. So that's why I always get mad at guys who are just like, yeah, I just told her she looked good. I'm like, don't. That makes no sense. Like, because she's going to tell you whether or not you look good or not. Treat her the same way. human to human, all right? Let's have that interaction.
Yeah,
And then
okay,
it comes down to
okay,
the chick
okay.
getting mad. I get where
Yeah,
the guys come
yeah. I
from.
was
The
gonna
chicks
ask,
get
but
mad.
what if she doesn't accept that? What if
If she
that's
doesn't-
not what she wants?
That's fine. You still talk to her like a normal human being. Be like, no, it's fine. That dress doesn't look good on you right now. So let's change your dress. Let's go for a different style. Because honestly, honey, I think that looks amazing. And like, you pick something for her. You help. Like, you change the situation a little bit. Like, be honest, but be helpful.
Man, this is why talking to gay people is so useful.
I do look at half the time.
No, what is it actually called where you're a guy that actually cares about fashion?
I call myself metro.
Metrosexual? Is that? I don't know what that actually. I don't know what that actually is defined as, but
Find out.
yeah, because I definitely know a lot. Like my buddy Caleb, he always looks good. Like he is always dressed well, right? And he's engaged and about to get married to a female, so I know he's not gay. But I'm like, you could get the impression that he is just by the fact that he's like the way he speaks.
So yeah, metrosexual, a young,
Yeah.
urban, heterosexual male with liberal.
Oh, you're urban.
Yeah, with liberal political.
You're liberal.
views and an
This
interest,
is Metro.
and an interest in fashion and a refined sense of taste.
Well, that describes you to a T, actually.
Well, except for when I'm on the show, I never actually dress well.
Well, that's because it's not important.
No,
You're
if
not
I'm at
going
home,
out on
if I'm at
town.
home, I'd just rather just be like, yeah.
You're not going out
Chill
on the
out.
town. You're not impressing anybody. This is. That's why actually on the live show, which never got picked up, I actually wore pajamas on our 1 year anniversary. I was like,
pajamas.
yeah. I put my pajama pants on and my pajama shirt.
Dude, one day we should actually drink some like hot tea or coffee. Depends on if
That'd
you
be
like
great.
coffee or tea. And
I
like
love-
actually, oh god,
Why was that? Hold
that
on.
was a blink at me. Are we recording?
It's still recording. Yeah, I don't know what the crap that was.
What was that?
That was weird.
Anyways, yeah, no, like,
I would definitely be down for some tea or coffee.
right, but hot though, because I don't
Oh,
like, I
absolutely.
don't like
Fresh.
southern sweet tea. It's terrible.
Oh
It's-
no,
that's
I'm not
garbage.
gonna say I don't like it, but I definitely prefer regular tea.
Oh, dude, no, southern.
Um,
I hate it because everywhere in the South I've ever gone, where people are like, "Dude, our sweet tea is amazing," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll try it," but
And
like,
it's just
you-
like
it's
pure sugar.
it's syrup. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
is-
syrup.
Like I
That's
might as well be
that's a
pouring this
great
on my
descriptor.
freaking pancakes or waffles.
Yeah,
and
that's a
like,
great
that,
descriptor.
then that would be
It's-
fine.
it's syrup.
Because otherwise it's too sweet, it's too nasty, and it's thick as all get outs because of how much sugar they put into it. So it's like, no, I'd rather not. So then like up north I've had sweet tea. And like honestly, not a big fan because some of the places
No,
I
they
went
don't
to
know what they're
also had
doing.
like cinnamon in it.
They don't
and,
know
like,
what they're doing in the north and in the west. They don't know what they're doing with sweet tea.